Okay, we're changing the brake pads on a 2000 Boxster S Porsche. Got the camera set up where you can see everything pretty good without having to move it. It's a pretty simple operation. We're going to start by removing the catch pin. Very simple. Put it somewhere safe. Now we can move on to the holding pin. I'm just using basic tools, but a Phillips head, a hammer. Nice and gentle until you get it started. There we go. Now we'll change position. Looking good. The side was a little easier, but there's not a whole lot going on here. It does help too. Put a little lubricant on here beforehand, and I did that. And it's just being difficult. I have to get some more energy here. There we go. Oh. Probably with the proper tool, it'd be a little easier. And the other side was. Well. Okay. I'll go ahead and take the sensors out so I don't damage anything. I'm getting a little nervous. A little light on the subject. Switch to a flat head. There we go. Now what's going on here? Always use a little more lubricant. Of course, got the big boy hammer on standby. I think we're gonna use that. All right. They're lined up perfectly. There we go. When the 1 pounder won't work, go with a 4. A little more finesse. You see the retaining clamps trying to move on me there, but that's exactly what we wanted to do. This aside, I'm going to clean it before I try to put it back in. It's probably was a little difficult. Move our sensors out of the way. Go back with our straight slot. and it just pops right out. Put that out of the way. Alright. As you can see, it's right on the This side is not quite as worn down as the other one. But since I'm in there, I'm not in love with this, but you never want to replace the brakes one side at a time. And they were squeaking, so that's that. Now they aren't loose. And ideally, channel locks would be better at this. But I took those aside and set them aside to do this job, and now I can't find them. So, a little protection on the rotor side, a little squeeze, which is a lot easier with the channel locks because the handle is longer and it gives you more leverage. And this comes right out. Now, I had this issue on the other side. And there's a thin metal piece in there that connects both the cylinders. It's going to remain in. I actually thought it was this piece right here, because you can see it's still on there. So that stays in. Put this to the side. Repeat on this side. A little bit of rubber to protect the caliper. Moves nice and easy. It's one of the easiest brake jobs I've ever done. And there's still a little wear on here. Like I said, really, I tried to let it go as long as possible. It was really squeaking bad. And that's not good eats. I have my little I hope this is right. I'm pretty sure it is. It's always a good thing to keep the pads separate so you don't have any issues. They won't go in correctly, but you'll have to find out the hard way. So keep them separated until it's time to go in. A little bit of organization. A little smear right where the pistons are going to hit. Let's see if we can do this. A little assistance. Maybe. Peek. Oh, yeah, little tab. Okay. Try to hit it with the rubber. It doesn't want to go. And your little pinholes are going to line up and let you know you're doing the right thing. Just like that. Again, this is way easier than I thought it would be for this type of car. It's like they did this just to make up for some of the other weird stuff they make you do. So hey, at least the brakes won't be that hard. Anybody can do this and save yourself a couple $100. almost paid someone $200 to do this just because I didn't know what was going on. I was like, oh, it has sensors. What the heck? That sounds scary. I don't want to mess it up. Oh, let's see. Boop. And of course, the installation is just like the reverse. Need to find that pin. Give it a little brush. And it has a little guide hole on here for the retaining pin. So when you insert this back in, there we go. You make sure that little tiny hole there is pointing perpendicular so your pin can go back in. Going in with our clip, and of course we got it. We're going to use our Phillips head again to compress the clip. A little bit easier. Keep that right there. Booyah tribe. Let's make sure I got my hole. Yep, hole's perfect. Clip those back in. Little tappy tap. Ooh. Paint's a little rough on this thing, but it's actually a blessing. Just gets a little scratch here and there. It's not nearly as frustrating as after you just get it painted. So I have a little tolerance for that, but it's still, try to be careful. This particular model, unlike its older brother, the 911, because the way the engine's designed on this thing, it's a lot easier to work on. As far as you don't have to have a lot of inch and out stuff to do stuff. You just remove some panels where the engine's set. You can't really show off your engine. Not that there's a whole lot to show off. It's more of a visceral thing than a visual thing. But it does make doing routine maintenance and preventive maintenance on this thing, as well as emergency, a whole lot easier. I was surprised. I thought it was in over my head. For the service manual and a few YouTube videos, I've gotten this thing back in the roadworthy condition with not a lot of effort, as I thought. I got our sensor wires clipped back in. My sensors are in. My clip is on. These brakes are done. You got back in the car though, you want to make sure you depress your brake pedal a few times to clear out your calipers, push everything back again. But other than that, it's a done data.